Okay, today's project is to repair the Bose amplifier in the rear of a 1993 Corvette C4. I have the radio playing right now, and you can hear this amplifier is working fine, and this one over here is just all static and noise. So first thing we're going to do is pull this out. You have to remove the screws that are going around this unit. This pops the cover off, and then you can pull out a few more screws that'll take this whole amplifier and speaker unit out, and then we can work on it from there. So I'll go ahead and take this cover off first, and then I'll show you the rest of it. Okay, to show you the taking the cover off here, there were 6 screws, Phillips type screws, 2 here, 2 right there, and 2 right here. And then that takes this whole cover off like so. And now what we have to do is take off the screws to get this amplifier unit out. So I will start on that and then show you where all those screws are. Okay, you have to pry up the carpet here from underneath the housing here. And what you're looking at now is the actual amplifier. And this looks like there's 6 screws, and you have to unplug the wiring harness. But these are these hex head screws. There's one there, one down here in the corner right there, and then you have one up here above the speaker, one down below by the coupe sign, and then one on the bottom corner of the speaker, and one up on the top side. So we will take those 6 out and unplug this wiring harness, and then I'll show you with the unit out. Okay, the unit is out, and these were 6 7mm screws here, hex screws. So now that it's out, we're going to go over on the test bench and start to work on the board. Okay, the next step is, once it's on the thing, you just pull out this connector off of the board, and then there are 4 Phillips head screws, which I've already removed, in each corner here, and then this board will pull out so that you can work on it. Okay, so I took the shield off right here, which is simply held on by a tab on the front and back side. This is the one here on the back, and you just have to gently pry it up and just pull it straight up off of there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to check some of these capacitors to see what condition they're in, and of course they have some type of glue on some of these, so I'm going to have to gently pull some of that off. I've already just, before I fired this back up, I took a few pieces of this glue up off of here that was right here by this capacitor. So I'm going to try to get the glue off of the tops of these. There's a whole series of electrolytics right here in this center area. I'm guessing that some of these need replaced. So I'm going to pull that much glue as I can off of the top of there, and then take some pictures in terms of the polarity. It looks like the negative sides of the caps here are pointing towards this side of the board, and then when you turn the board this way, it looks like all of these ones are, the negatives are pointing this direction. So we'll document that, and so I'm going to get some of this glue off. We'll go from there. Okay, I've spent a good bit of time taking off almost 100% of the the glue that was on this board, because during this era, throughout the 90s and 2000s, this stuff becomes conductive. It's this stuff, whenever this stuff starts to turn dark like this, this becomes conductive, and you can't necessarily test it with a multimeter, but it's enough to throw off the performance. So I use just a combination of going very carefully with a tiny little screwdriver here, and I use 99% alcohol and just keep soaking the stuff, and eventually it does start to release from the components and the board, and it becomes super sticky. And in my experience on other electronics in the 90s and 2000s that have had weird problems like this is often the culprit. I mean, it seems hard to believe, but the more of this stuff you get off, the better. So, and especially when it's turns dark in color like this, and just makes your fingers and everything super sticky after it releases, I find that that's often a big part of the problem. So I'm going to continue to make sure that I got as much as I possibly can off. Even you got to double check, and it's actually especially important if anything is between the legs of any of these ICs. You want to make sure you carefully get it out. And even if this isn't the problem on this board, I know from the era that this stuff was made that this is a common problem that ends up causing major deal-breaking issues down the road. So I want to get as much of this off of this board as I can. And so now I'm going to make sure that between all the legs of these ICs, I got it. There was a ton of it around these MOSFETs here, and I'm pretty sure I got pretty much all of it off, but I'm going to keep working at it for another 15 minutes or so and see if I can make this good a progress as I can. Okay, now that all the circuit glue is off of the board, I went ahead and tested the capacitors using my blue ESR tester, and the only ones I'm seeing that are bad here are this one here is testing completely open. It's a 10 microfarad. This one is another 10, and it is testing very high. So that's likely the problems on this board. And this one here, I'm having trouble getting a reading. It's just very tight to get into. So these two here are testing fine. So I'm probably going to change these 4 here in a row. Okay, I went ahead and replaced 6 capacitors. I thought these 4 here were either bad or outright defective. And there was also a 1 microfarad here and a 1 microfarad here. So I went ahead and replaced those only as preventative maintenance, because I've found in the past that 1 microfarads often are problematic. But these were not defective. I just figured since I was in here and they were easy to do, I replaced those. But these 4 here are definitely a problem, so I went ahead and replaced them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it back in, test it out, and if it's everything's good, I'll go ahead and put some hot glue around this area here to make sure that these coils don't vibrate. Okay, it's back installed, and sounds good.